So, my dear Pisces, the sun is in Aquarius, the star, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. So the moon, in a way, is at home. The moon is in the moon, and you see that we are going to the left. To the left is the new moon. In the next reading, you're going to have your new moon. And that's a very important moment to plant a seed so that your wish or whatever it is that you want can come through in then your next full moon, which is opposite of your sign in Virgo. Here we see Osho Zen Tarot, the vagina and all the lives that we have lived and will still live. And here we see Apollo sitting in front of the Taj Mahal. And Apollo is the sun god, and the sun is a dwarf star in our solar system. And so here comes the sun and the moon. The sun that is a star is always in Aquarius, feeling like, yes, people, I am not the sun. I am a star. And so, as you can see, this is the hope. This is also the eternal love, because the Taj Mahal was built for that eternal love that never fades. And you see here the portal of the moon card with two salamander, and those are basically the only animals that survive fire. And so in that transformation, in that spirit, right, they are the guardians here of this portal. Aquarius is getting ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is always the new beginning, and Uranus is a generational planet, and Uranus is also ruling the Fool, right? So the Fool is connected with always that new beginning. Then Pluto has moved into Aquarius, and so this is quite a big change. He is also a generational planet. He will stay for 20 years in Aquarius and really change the way we perceive the mystic and, of course, also our shadow side. So when you get the light from the sun, then you also get the energy from Pluto and Uranus. And of course, you are ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is the dreams and the mind that perceives the dreams, right? And so it's a very mystical moment, what this reading might bring. The yoga position for you is here the fish pose and the upward and the downward facing dog. And for Aquarius, I took side plank with lifting up one leg and one arm, but at the same time one arm and one leg is down on earth. That's when you arrive as an earth star. You're transforming yourself right through the seventh star, and then you become the eighth, all calculated together, the earth star. So we have an 8 and we have a 9 here, because the 18 turns into a 9 when we calculate it together. So this just today to the sun and moon, and this exists really only once a year. But if we include the fact that now Pluto has moved into Aquarius and all the other planets that are moving and shifting, this moment really exists only once in your life. And so it's really important that we set that moment, right? And that's why I do the reading really on the day the moon is in your sign, so that I also feel what's going on. And on top of it, Pisces is quite dear to me, because my mother was a Pisces, and I always feel like, oh, I think she is gonna send me a signal through the reading. back to the last reading where Capricorn Sun highlighted your Pisces Moon. The message was 7 times 2. You are a creative and spiritual goddess priestess who inspires deeply. So the message clearly, right, is that you are the 12th house of spirituality and art. She's lying here in her half moon and she is thinking about what she's going to create next. And of course, you are, as the Pisces woman, the dreamer that dreams the vision into being. Because here in Osho's deck, you are trust. Trust your dreams. Trust the jump into the fluffy pink clouds. And dare, right? Dare to trust really what wants to be expressed in the 12th house of spirituality and art. So if your birthday is between February 8th and March 11th, this is your court card. If not, if your birthday is before or after, please look in the description. I have listed all the cards and their dates there. So Uranus, I want to pick a special deck for Uranus for this push to begin new. And I have for that the Carrie Yale Visconti Tarot. I do have on the Fool already the Visconti Sforza Tarot. As you can see, this one is restored and redone. But here we have like really pictures of these old cards. And also why I'm using this deck now for Uranus. I have this deck for quite a while, but I never used it. The cards are huge, as you can see, and then you can see they're really old. And look at that, we immediately have the 9 of Cups. So that is an indicator that in a way I don't need to shuffle. Right, so the card is here. This is connected with the constellation Jupiter in Pisces. And so Jupiter is the expansion. Jupiter is that grander, maybe now in this new beginning, right, through Pluto that is in Aquarius. Maybe we're just going to take this card, right? But what I wanted to explain here is that these cards, why I didn't use them, is because they were so big, and for some reason I just didn't feel drawn to them. And then I realized when I really went through them and studied them that all the court cards have a masculine and a feminine part. And that's very Uranus. That's very like what's happening right now, right? The rights of the women, the rights of the men. And it's really powerful because I feel that I feel like everything has existed already. We feel like, oh, well, now is the revolution, right? Uranus is also the revolution of, we want now things to be egalitarian, but this egalitarian state has existed already before. And so now the 9 of Cups, right, which is Jupiter in Pisces, is like letting you know, yes, you can be grand. You can now use through the 9, through the 3-3-3 row and 3-3-3 row like this, there is this enormous completion happening, emotional fulfillment happening here deep within you. And so this is coming through Uranus at you, right? And so here Jupiter in Pisces is saying, why not? Why don't you make yourself big? Why don't you make yourself now a star? Right? allow to shine, allow to bring to the people what it is that you want to live in this world, and making yourself small is not gonna do it. And so I'm just gonna have a look at Jupiter, right? I have a deck for Jupiter. I have a deck, I have for everything a deck. I have so many decks, but I'm using it because sometimes cards come up twice or 3 times, and so it's a very clear indicator. Okay, really look at that. Really look at the number, right? And so that's why I'm using for each planet and for each zodiac sign and for each major arcana their own deck. And so the 9 of Cups is bringing you the new directions, the 45. Look at that. So you have a 9-9 portal right away. And this is so beautiful because, as you can see, I'm placing the card to the left because we're going now to the new moon. We're going introverted. We're going the soul path. You see, though, this is flying towards the extroverted energy. And so you have a 4 and a 5, which creates the 9. The 4 is the Emperor and the 5 is the Hierophant. So it's very strong figures that are actually also father figures in a way, that are letting you know, yes, you can uplift in your mind. You can really say, hey, that hat has so many ideas, and there hangs one person who is literally saying, bye guys, I am now taking this path into the 9 of Cups, into Jupiter in Pisces, and I am uplifting, and I am grand, and I am creating here 2 times 9, a creativity in my completedness, right? In my completion, my feeling of I am now exploring the world. And so this is clear. I mean, the message is very strong. It's really like, yes, you want to uplift, right? And that's what Jupiter does, right? Jupiter brings us up high. And so then the next card on the position of the Fool, right? So I'm just going to place this here, and I'm going to place this back here. You get the 3 of Cups. Look at this. And you see there are 2 cups and one in the middle who is facing the left. Like I said, that's the introverted path. So because you're studying and learning everything deep within in the introverted path, and you feel an emotional satisfaction, so these 3 fit into here, and added we get 12 cups. Well, guess what? The 12th house of spirituality and art is literally uplifting you. You are literally through Aquarius being pushed to explore new ideas. And you see that the flower is getting here, right, from the central energy, because it's pouring into the left, the idea to kind of go on, right, and to fly off, and to literally be like, yes, I'm just gonna take that step. Because all of this is kind of like a foolish idea that you think in your head. These are all state of consciousness, right? And so there is something deep within you that wants to go. Emotionally, you want to like really be happy. You want to experience a deep, profound happiness. And I think you are feeling it, right? Because the Fool is saying, yes, take that step, take that leap to the left. Always take that leap into new endeavors, into new fields, because this is connected with the constellation Mercury in Cancer. And so there is a deep emotional connectedness then through the 12 cups, and you understand very clearly now, yeah, there is really a beautiful message coming to you right away from the beginning. Then on the position of the Magician, which is here in Osho, the existence, comes the Beauty Way. And look at that, she's sitting on this leaf, and it's really interesting. Here you have the lotus flower, the number 4. The 4 and the 1 is then the 5. And the 5 was giving you the empowerment of the 5 senses to take that step out. And so here you feel that the water of the inner knowledge is pouring into the Beauty Way, and so it is uplifting you. And so you can sitting up here, it's almost like here this little dragonfly is now here and giving you the feeling of like, yes, I can just be about anything. And so the 5 is talking the 5 senses, feel the 5 senses in a very beautiful way, because the Magician is connected with Mercury, and here we already have Mercury in Cancer. And so the message is like, yes, feed the inner beauty. Feed the inner beauty that makes you grow, that makes you uplift. And of course, I want to see what is bringing the Beauty Way. And here we have the 5 of Wands. And then we get, I'm just going to put this down, we get a 5-5 portal here, right? This is the 5, 4 and 1 is 5, and the 5, you have 2 times 5, but you also have a 5 here, remember? And so 2 times 5 is like, be creative in the way you express yourself, in the way you test yourself with others, because that's what the 5 of Wands is all about, right? We test ourselves with other priestesses, with other spiritual beings, and recognize through that there is always a little bit like, oh, how does she do it, right? And how am I gonna do it? And of course, this is the constellation Saturn in Leo, and Saturn is the teacher, is the border, is the lesson, right? And Leo is kind of like playfully always testing itself, right? Its strength, its position. And so there is this very interesting play happening here with the Beauty Way, right? Who is more beautiful almost? Be careful that you're not getting too serious with this. But 2 times 5, become creative in the way you express this state of consciousness that you are feeling here. Then on the position of the High Priestess comes here the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is Mars in Leo, right? And so here you have 5 Wands, and then you get another 7 Wands, which is then, of course, 12 Wands. And so now you have 12 Wands and 12 Cups. And it's very interesting, right? Because then 12 is the 3 left, and also here 12 is the 3 left. So you get a 3-3 portal. When you understand all these emotions, and when you understand all these actions, and boil it down to 3-3, then you get the 33 degrees that the secret brotherhoods had as a degree of consciousness, right? And so here you get a 3-3 portal when you calculate it all together, right? And so it's really beautiful what's coming here at you, because here the 7 and the 2 of the High Priestess, the intuition, creates a 9, and the 9 is then again here the 9 of Cups, right? That inner alchemical tantric shift that creates then out of you this incredible inner voice, this intuition that knows how to act, that knows how to be courageous, that knows how to actually take the step in whatever the step you need to take, because Mars is taking action, Mars in Leo, and then of course here Saturn in Leo. And so when we calculate it together, of course the 12 and then the 3 is left, right? So recognize that, see that, and notice emotionally what does that do to you, because I'm going to give you just the numbers and what all of this means, but you have to put your story always into the reading. On the position of the Empress, right? Again, a state of consciousness. Until here are all state of consciousness, and then the zodiac signs begin. Here you get the Chariot, and the 3 and the 7 is a 10. The 10 is then a new cycle. Then you're coming into a completion in summer, because this is Cancer going out. The star that is leading the positive and the negative, right? The polarity, the duality. And so the one is then always the one star, is that third eye, is that inner knowing. And here is this a triangle, right? The triangle that's always pointing up. It's like saying, yes, that's what is important, that we understand that this eye and this eye and this eye create a triangle that's pointing up. And so here you have the 10, here you have a completion, here you have a new understanding of you as this beautiful creative goddess that is here looking up at the moon and is actually totally like inspiring you, because the Empress is connected with Venus, right? And so here you are going on an emotional happiness, because you got the 12 cups and that emotional fulfillment of 12 cups. Then 3 is connected again with the 3 of the Empress, right? And so you see that's an emotional success that is actually speaking here to you. Then on the position of Aquarius, the star, comes the Queen of Pentacles. And she's facing the left, she's facing the inner world, the intuition, the introverted energy. Meanwhile, Apollo is looking to the right and is facing the outer energy. And so here comes the number 10, the 10th house of social status. And so the 17, which turns into an 8, and the 10 is then the 18. That's the moon, that's the subconscious. And so the 18 as the subconscious, you somehow know here this figure is really important for you, and she is actually helping you to understand something. Now here in Osho, the star is silence. And you see how Uranus is the third eye here in the face, in the sky. And the deeper understanding, the subconscious understands this message very clearly, that now the social status is something that either comes from deep within, as that you have lived already many lives, and you know that social status is either important or not important anymore because you have lived it. And so she lives it in a way that she's saying, I've been like, you know, so many lives, and so I don't need a certain social status. But we always need to make sure that we here in this physical world are able to function, right? Because it just doesn't work otherwise. And so here comes Capricorn, here's Cancer, and so these are opposite of each other. Right? And so this is very interesting, because it's kind of saying, well, the emotional success is more important than the financial success, or here than the social status that we always are running after. And so this is what the star is saying. Be careful that you are not running after the social status, because in the end, deep down, it's not going to make you happy. It's just going to like show that, yes, you can function here in this dimension, but the emotional happiness is something that no one can give you. That is something that you really need to find from deep within. Then on the position of the Knight of Cups, right? The trust is that, now look at this, comes here the schizophrenia, the number 2, the 2 of Swords, which is connected with Moon in Libra. And so as you can see, you jumping, right? And here, look at that. it's like you almost jumped and now you landed here between these two buildings. And here, look, there's two birds. And it's kind of like, what am I going to do now? I'm stuck. So what I'm going to let go of, my feet or my arms? And it's really interesting because the 12 and the 2 is then the 14. The 14 is temperance. And temperance is that guardian angel that is pouring from one cup to the next, right? That is melting the masculine and the feminine. And it's almost saying here, yes, you gotta really look deeper into your subconscious, because here is a message. And then the 14 turns into a 5. And the 5 was here. And here he is holding on to a seed. Here he is flying as well. And so it's kind of like saying, well, drop everything. Let yourself fall, because if you take now the 2 arms, the 2 legs, and the head, that's the 5, right? That's the pentagram. That's that human being. And here you are stuck, and I think you gotta let yourself really fall. It's almost like you trusted something, and then all of a sudden you got a little scared, and now you're like, oops. Here's a building and here's a building, and now you're stuck. And it's kind of like, let go and really trust this process. Because then on the position of Pisces comes here the slowing down. And the slowing down is the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo. And it's really interesting because Virgo is giving you the light for your full moon, but now we're going to your new moon. And so you notice that here this turtle is going towards the new moon, which is in your next reading. That's when you're going to really be deep, deep down. And so if you really let go, you notice that you're not gonna fall fast. You're gonna go slow, because this schizophrenia mind, it needs just right now a slowness, right? Becoming a slow movement towards, it's almost like that the clock is ticking very slowly towards the new moon. And you know that this is happening. You know that now, because this is coming up on the moon in your subconscious, you know that it's imminent, that you now have to let go, and that you are gonna arrive deep at yourself, deep, deep down, right in your subconscious. And so the 18, which becomes the 9, and the 6th house of health, right, or routine, that's what Virgo is all about, is actually then a 15. And the 15 is again Capricorn, which was your last reading, which gave you 7 times 2. You are a creative and spiritual goddess priestess who inspires deeply. And so you have here Capricorn as the 10th house of social status. And then you get here calculated together the 15, which is in a way the attachment, or the cutting of the swords, right, which called evil. And then the 6 is left. And the 6 is actually, again, that moment where you understand, okay, I am slowly going deep within me and love myself, because the 6 is self-love. And so in your deep subconscious, you're starting to recognize that slowly, right? It's like making sense. Okay, yeah, I'm starting really to love myself. Then on the position of the moon, right, comes here the dream oracle, and it's the number 62, the willow, the wisp, treasures hidden in the shadow. And so it's very interesting. It's almost like this blue color here. There is also this blue color. It's kind of like the blue is the 5th chakra, but we have the 62. The 6 is the 3rd eye, and then the 2 is the high priestess. But the 6 is also the self-love and the intuition, and then calculated together we get the 8, and the 8 is then again the star, right? The 17 that turns into an 8. And so the star that is bringing you this information. And so the 9 and the 8 is 17. and 17 is the star. So yes, you are becoming a star. You are in the next reading getting sun in your sign and the new moon in your sign. So you can be in the light and at the same time in the dark. And I think that's what the hidden treasures here is bringing, that you are then in your next reading gonna look deep, deep within and recognize that you are slowly here transforming and changing. But I wanted to know what is bringing here this hidden treasure or will-o'-the-wisp personality. And the Ace of Cups came up. And the Ace of Cups is then 12 cups, right? And one more, you have 13 cups. 13 cups is Pluto, is death, is Scorpio, because Pluto rules Scorpio, and that's now in Aquarius, and Aquarius is giving you the light. And so you do feel, oh, okay, it's all about this. It's all about jumping and taking that step, taking that risk, and the card is facing the left. And so, yes, take that jump, take that risk, because you did jump. Crazy. Look at this. You did jump, and it's like you got stuck, and now look at him. He's like, okay, if I turn it up right, he's like, yes, I am jumping. It's the same position. Look at this. This is crazy, right? So 3 times you have this like, let go, jump into the pool of love, because the emotional connection that you are, right, as the Knight of Cups, you are the one that searched for the Holy Grail. You are the one that searched for that big love. But if you are searching for that, you got to really jump now, and you got to really let go. And to the left, the meaning to the left is always interesting, because here in the Mother Peace Tarot, I'm just gonna let you know what it means. A woman dives into a cup of self-love, spilling water over onto a pair of mated swans. To the left, she feels a hesitation in her heart, right? And so I think you gotta really allow now to trust that there are hidden treasures deep within you, because 13 cups is then the 4. And the 4 was the beauty way. So jump. It's almost like this flower is part of this here scenery, right? And it's kind of like you had it at the beginning. You had it right away with the Magician. Use the magic and jump into your self-love and trust that everything will be fine. Trust that you get the message, because here we have the 9 and we have the 8, that was the 17. So you are a star then when you jump into self-love, because people who love themselves, they can really achieve anything. And so then the 8 plus the 1 is the 9, and that's again here right at the beginning the 9 of Cups, right? Plus 1 cup is the 10, and the 10 is then again that next cycle. But you also remember had here the 9 with the 45, that new direction that you're taking, that new direction. Uranus is leading you forward, and it's kind of like, yes, everything is about jump. Just jump, right? And don't think too much about it. Because then on the position of the sun, we're almost done, we have here then the magic, the number 43. And so the 43 is again the Emperor and the Empress. And then the 7 is here the Chariot, right? The emotional success that you can find deep within you. And that emotional success is important. Then you can create magic, because you're combining the masculine and the feminine. And when you do that, which is also what the 9 is all about, the completion, the hermit, the inner tantric union, you are awakening to new possibilities, because it's the sun in Aquarius, but the sun is the light, the sun is the 19, that's becoming the 10 and the 7, again the star. You then see here the innocence, how he's just simply looking at this animal, the innocence in creating, the innocence in healing, the innocence in the sheer magic that is coming at you with the star, right? Through this new technology and through all the communities that are being built now, because that's what Aquarius is all about, right? And so here the 17 then becomes again an 8. But I also wanted to know, so what is bringing the magic? And the magic brought you the 6 of Wands reverse. I'm just going to put this down. The 6 of Wands reverse. Now you had 5 Wands. Now you have 6 Wands and you have 7, right? So you, but they didn't come in 5, 6, 7. They came in 5, 7, 6. And so you altogether have 18 wands, right? I'm just gonna place them all here. You have 18 wands. And so in your subconscious, you feel like you have to do what is necessary so that you can become this magician, so that you can really create this magic, because it's important, because it's something that is actually literally pushing you forward. Is, you know, we can think about things and we can also talk about things, but then when we actually do it, we start experience it. And so the 6 of Wands reverse, it's very interesting, because when you look at the 6 of Wands upright, right, it says she is a leader who has risen and taken her place on a wheel of fire. Now in reverse, it's actually the peace sign, right? Reverse, she's not able to express her power now. Is something stopping her? Does she lack the confidence? And it's interesting because here you had the Ace of Cups to the left, and the meaning here is that, of course, the to the left is that introverted jump deep into yourself, into the self-love, right? And now here you get the understanding that maybe you have to really trust that when you jump, which is remember the jump, right? Is that trust that even though you're falling upside down, it's all orchestrated, it's all good, it's all has a meaning, right? Right, left, up, down. These are the 4 directions, right? These are the 4 elements. And so here the 10 and the 7 is the 8. And then the 8 plus the 6 is the 14. Again, temperance, right? Understand that everything has its moment. And so now you left with a 5. Again, the 5 senses here. This is Jupiter in Leo. And so you get Jupiter in Pisces, right? Here the 9 of Cups, and you get also Jupiter in Leo. And so it's really powerful that you are taking that step, even though if you're falling on your head, it doesn't matter. You did it. Important is that you did it, because then on the last card comes here on the world, the completion, comes Leo. And Leo is here the empowerment, the number 8. Leo is the opposite sign of Aquarius. Leo gives the light for Aquarius in the full moon, and Aquarius gives the light to the full moon of Leo. And so you understand that the opposite, that the duality is necessary, right, to integrate, to melt, to bring together. And this is the last understanding of your puzzle. It's the third eye. It's again here the 6th chakra. The number 6 is the self-love. So the 21 of the world is the 3, and the 8 and the 3 is the 11, and the 11 is the inner teacher, is a portal, is that first portal that says, well, then you have understood that yes, Saturn brings border because the world is connected with Saturn, and Saturn brings borders, but notice that there is now the 9 behind it and 2 times the 9 behind it, right? In the closing of the reading is that you've gained that strength through the 8, through the star, being a star, being up in the sky, and not always be just that dark moon, right? Because you always get the light only through the sun, right? And so you a little bit like, yeah, the moon, right? When there's no light shining on you, which is going to be in your next reading, you're going to be completely in the dark, but still the self-love, that jump right into the left here was saying, dare to jump into the self-love, dare to love yourself, dare to sit on the head of this Leo and trust that self-love is here, right? Through the 9 of cups, because you have 13 cups, which is then the 4, and the 4 is here again as the masculine, as the emperor, and everything again, as you can see, has a meaning. And I hope it makes sense to you, because you can put your story in here, but all I can see is that you are really now arriving at a very powerful place, at a 9-9 portal, and that you are really trusting that everything has a meaning, and that you can really let go, that you can really jump. And even though you stop yourself for a moment, it's okay, because then you're really gonna take that jump into self-love, right? Even though it's facing the left, but it's an internal process, and that internal process can only be done by you. No one can help you with this. You got to do this all alone, but then you are going to be assured to be like a magic healer, right? A magic healer in the beauty way, in knowing that yes, the magic lies in bringing the masculine and the feminine together. I hope I see you in the next reading, because that's when you get your new moon, and that's where you're gonna like plant the seed. That's where you're really gonna go, okay, I jumped, right? I jumped into self-love. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.